Welcome to my views on news. Tuesday's second video for you. Firstly, a new story from Gashina, Wuldia, Lalibela front, which are different fronts. But on these fronts, hundreds of Ethiopian government soldiers have reportedly surrendered or they have been taken prisoner by Tigray forces. We have received some information from the ground. Secondly, Tigray regional government today released a statement which is a message for the people of Eritrea, Eritrean army, Eritrean diaspora, Ethiopian people, Ethiopian army, and different ethnic groups in Ethiopia. What is this message about? What is Tigray government saying? What is Tigray government requesting these groups to do? And is this an attempt to create divisions between Eritrean government, Eritrean people, Eritrean government and Eritrean army, Ethiopian government and Ethiopian army? We'll have a detailed look at the message shared by Tigray government. And lastly, Ethiopian government is protesting against direct phone call between Tigray President Debretsion Gebremichael and UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. What happened? When did this call happen? Before the resumption of armed hostilities on the 24th of August or after that? Firstly, Ethiopian government soldiers have surrendered on a front in large numbers. We have received information from the ground that near Dilanta, near Wuldia Gashina Road, reportedly large number of Ethiopian government soldiers have surrendered. Are they members of Ethiopian National Defense Force or members of Amhara Special Force or Fano fighters? It's not clear. Fano activists are accusing Ethiopian National Defense Force that ENDF members are surrendering. They're not mentioning Amhara Special Force or Amhara Fano in these claims. They are blaming the surrender on Ethiopian National Defense Force. But what we have learned is that those who have surrendered are ENDF members and some Amhara Special Force soldiers as well. And due to this surrender, Tigray forces, as we reported in the previous video, they managed to cut off Wuldia Gashina road to the west of Gashina, west of Wuldia, which links Wuldia with Gashina. And if you have watched Getacheo's press briefing a few hours ago, he claimed that thousands of ENDF and other forces soldiers have been taken prisoner by Tigray fighters since the start of this new phase of war on the 24th of August. So in the last 7 days, according to Tigray regional government spokesperson Getacheo, thousands have surrendered. We could not confirm thousands, but from this road, Wuldia Gashina road, and from areas close to this road, reportedly several hundred Ethiopian government soldiers have surrendered. There are around 10,000 Ethiopian government soldiers as POWs in Tigray. And Tigray government released around 4,000 a few weeks ago rather. Though Ethiopian government refused to acknowledge them as ENDF members, and they were put in camps in Afar when they were released by Tigray regional government. And before that, Tigray released around 1,000 prisoners, I think last year. So still before the start of this war, there were around 10,000 Ethiopian government soldiers as prisoners of war in Tigray. Now more are being taken prisoner by Tigray fighters in this new phase of war. Secondly, viewers, Tigray regional government today released a message, a statement. The message addresses Eritrean people, Eritrean army, Eritrean diaspora, Ethiopian people, Ethiopian army, Ethiopian ethnic groups. Let's have a look at this message and then we'll try to analyze the purpose behind the release of this message. Firstly, Tigray government addresses Eritrean people in this message. Tigray government says that its people, the government of Tigray, are fighting for democratic rights, for right to self-determination. And it claims that large number of Ethiopian government force members has crossed into Eritrea from western Tigray. And an offensive, a military offensive from Eritrea on Tigray is being prepared. A new campaign of genocide is going to be launched from Eritrea on Tigray, the statement says. So it wants the people of Eritrea to rise, to stop this invasion of Tigray from Eritrea and to fight Eritrean government. And it says that they should fight for their own benefits and for their own sustainable existence. Otherwise, they could be in danger as well. Secondly, the message addresses Eritrean army, that Eritrean army personnel should not risk their lives for personal interest of Isaias Afwerki, Eritrean ruler, and they should not, Eritrean army members should not be part of this campaign. Thirdly, it addresses Eritrean diaspora, that they should intensify their movement, which they have been launching for years against Eritrean ruler Isaias Afwerki. Fourthly, Ethiopian people, that they should not let their children be part of this war. They shouldn't allow their children who are member of ENDF to be deployed to front lines to fight. And it addresses ENDF as well, that Ethiopian National Defense Force should not be part of this war, because this war is to serve the purpose of personal interests of Abiy Ahmed and Isaias Afwerki. And it addresses Agos, Kimats, Oromos as well, that they should reject, they should condemn this war, and they should protest. They shouldn't be part of this escalation. Now, what is the purpose of issuing of this message? Is there any likely impact of this message on the people of Eritrea and Ethiopia? Well, no one is going to rise against Eritrean government in Eritrea. And a coup is not expected in Eritrea as well. Eritrean army will not turn against Isaias Afwerki. That's my understanding, my analysis. But Tigray government is trying to create divisions between Eritrean government and Eritrean people. Eritrean government, Eritrean army. Ethiopian government and Ethiopian army. Now, members of Ethiopian National Defense Force, of course, they are members of a force. They are bound to obey orders. And their livelihoods depend upon this job that they are doing. So, voluntarily or by force, they have to be part of this war. People of Ethiopia, should they send their sons to fight in Tigray? It's an attempt by Tigray government to seek sympathy. Are people of Ethiopia supportive of TPLF? Keeping in view TPLF's track record when it ruled Ethiopia in alliance with EPRDF, they're not sympathetic towards TPLF. But they wouldn't like a war go on in Ethiopia for years. Of course, people are fed up. I have I talk to so many people, and most of them, they want an end to this war. Though there are hawks as well who say TPL should be destroyed and it should be disarmed. Mostly ruling class, I have felt that Ethiopian ruling class are hawks. They want decimation of TPLF. They want decimation of TDF as well. But general public, both in Tigray and Ethiopia, they want peace. They want an end to this conflict. But problem is that in Ethiopia, people's opinion does not matter a lot. People cannot protest. If they protest, they are put in prisons. Journalists and activists, they're not allowed to speak freely. Thousands are in detention. Fano fighters, activists, and Tigrayans as well, OLA sympathizers accused of supporting OLA, thousands are in detention. So it's difficult for civil society in Ethiopia to rise. That democratic culture is missing. But I have one point. If Tigray wants the people of Eritrea, the people of Ethiopia, to question the policy of Eritrean and Ethiopian governments, it should allow the people of Tigray as well to question the policy of Tigray regional government. Does Tigray regional government allow opposition parties, people of Tigray, to question TPLF's Tigray regional government's policies? Are they allowed to speak freely in Tigray? Opposition parties have been complaining in Tigray that they have been under crackdown, under pressure from Tigray regional government. Parties like Salsivujene, Betona, TIP. So, Tigray should set a precedence first that, see, there is democratic culture in Tigray, people are questioning us, we are answerable to them. In the same way, people of Eritrea, people of other regions in Ethiopia, they should also question the government. Democratic culture is missing in Tigray as well. I don't see a huge impact of this message on the ongoing war, because decision makers are not the people of Ethiopia or people of Eritrea. Decision makers are ruling elite. Army officers, politicians, and some businessmen perhaps, they will make decisions which will have an impact on this war. And they have not decided to renew talks so far. It's just 7th days in the start of this war. We might see some flexibility in positions taken by Tigray and Tigray regional and Ethiopian federal governments in coming days. So far, no signs of this flexibility and no signs of any pressure upon Ethiopian government and Eritrean government. Lastly, the Ethiopian government is protesting against a direct phone call between Tigray President Debretsion and UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. Antonio Guterres called Debretsion. It has been revealed after Stephen Dujarric, UN Secretary General spokesperson, sent an email to the media. In that email, there is mention of this phone call between Antonio Guterres and Tigray President Debretsion, and Ethiopian government is protesting. Ethiopian government says that direct contact between UN Secretary General and the head of a terrorist organization is against the laws of the UN. TPLF was declared a terrorist organization last year. So Tigray Liberation Front, according to Ethiopian law, is a terrorist organization. That is why Ethiopian government says that UN Secretary General cannot hold a phone call with the head of a terrorist organization. It's a violation of international law. Obviously, it means that Ethiopian government was not involved in this engagement. The call happened after the start of this new war, which started on the 24th of August. The government is protesting that it was not on board when UN Secretary General called Debrecen. But what we have learned is that UN Secretary General was planning to talk to both parties. I think UN made an announcement as well when this new phase of war started. So he was due to speak to PM Abiy as well. I don't know if it happened or not. But according to what we learned around 6 days ago, Antonio Guterres was due to speak to Debrecen and to Abiy. So his phone call with Debrecen has been confirmed. Did he call PM Abiy? It's not clear. Secondly, Ethiopian government is against UN's interaction with an organization which is terrorist according to Ethiopian law. One has this right to ask a question: why did Ethiopian military officials, Ethiopian civilian officials held direct contact, direct talks with the members of this terrorist organization? It has been confirmed that 2 rounds of direct talks were held between Tigray officials and Ethiopian government officials in recent months. One was held in Djibouti and the other was held in Seychelles. Technically, yes, without the approval of Ethiopian government, UN Secretary General shouldn't have called Debrecen Mikhail. But UN has been trying for cessation of hostilities. So if an international body wants an end to this war, it is intervening, it should be welcomed. But at this stage of war, I think Ethiopian government does not want any direct talks between TPLF-led Tigray government and any international organization. Thank you for watching.